Brian. Doing a LS swap on my 53 Chevy, and just figured I'd share it with everybody out there. I've been having a hard time finding videos and pictures that people have done them, but I haven't seen a whole lot of documentation, so I just figured I'd show how I'm going about doing mine. So there's our 6-liter engine that I bought. This is out of a 2004 Chevy van. It's got around 140,000 miles on it. Went with a 6-liter just cause. Not going to be doing a whole lot to it. 6 liters already, and the vans are rated at 300 horsepower. Trucks are rated at 315. The 5.3 liters and the same year rated at 285. 6 liters have more torque. I'm not really going to be hot rodding this thing. Maybe somewhere down the line I'll maybe do a cam and heads on it, but that's as much as I'll get with it. So at any rate, this is what I've got so far. Transmission's not back there. Transmission I have is a 4L80E. Some of your trucks, like the Denali's and the Cadillacs, come with the 4L60. Either transmission will bolt up to this engine. So that's what I've got. So I'll show you the motor mounts here. I bought these off of Summit Racing. It's just a universal mount. Some people fabricate their own. I just felt like it was just going to be easier just to buy this. So you get that, you get the mounting bracket that goes to the motor. One thing I'll say is, if you notice on my frame here, I originally had these things welded up here, and as you can see where the engine's sitting, obviously I don't have the radiator up. Where we had sitting before, it was about 2.5 inches away from the radiator, from the water pump here. Thought we were going to be fine. Figured I could use a thin fan. We also had the motor up about 2 inches higher, so that I had room for the AC compressor, which you see I've now taken off. So what happened was, we measured it, set it up where we thought we wanted it, and did that without the fenders and radiator on the car. My suggestion: have the fenders and radiator set up. Learn from my mistakes. So what we ended up doing was, the other issue I had too was where the engine was sitting, the radiator hose was going to come straight across from my throttle body, and I wasn't going to have enough room to put a air filter on there. So the engine had to drop down 2 inches from where we had it, and we also ended up moving the engine back about 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches. So I've got almost 4 inches now between the radiator and the water pump. So I'll be able to get an electric fan in there real easy. The other thing we found out too, I'm not going to be using the AC compressor off of the engine. Going to be getting a sand in. I'm putting a vintage air conditioning system in the car, so I welded up all my holes in the firewall, and it takes a sand and air compressor anyway. So there's a bracket, still need to buy it. ICT Billet sells it. It mounts right up here, and the AC compressor will be right up there then. The only other thing I've got here, they got the motor mount over here on this side. Losing my train of thought, sorry guys. It's an exhaust manifold. A lot of guys are having questions about what types of exhaust manifolds to get for them. Sanderson makes a shorty header that's supposed to fit these cars really well, and it's supposed to, for Mustang 2 suspensions and whatnot, it's supposed to clear the steering and everything. I decided not to go with headers. These here are the truck manifolds. That's what originally came on the truck. I ended up trying to buy a set of C5 Corvettes that dump in the middle. That wasn't going to work with where my steering was at on the driver's side. Ended up selling those on eBay, and as a result was able to buy these for basically what I sold the C5 Corvette ones for. These are LS3 manifolds off of a 2010 Camaro. So with the truck ones, they will fit on there with the car. So the issue that I had was, well, that's in the way. Hang on. Okay. So the issue I had with these is they fit on here fine. As you can see where they dump out, they kind of come out at an angle going back, and we're going to be above the frame. Probably could have made some pipes to work around that. But the LS3 ones actually come down. So that the pipe will be able to dump straight on down there. As you can see, I got a little bit of an overlap over the frame, so we're just going to have to notch that frame a little bit. Not a big deal. So that's how that sits. With the transmission, as you can see, we cut the cross member. There is no way, with as low as the engine was sitting, you're going to be able to leave that transmission. I'll try to get up a video later once we get it installed. Runs right through the middle there. As you can see here, Walton's makes a bracket. There's companies that make brackets for these cars. My dad went ahead and he made this. He had some square tubing, and he just welded that all up. So if you're good at fabricating, it can be made. So that's what we're going to be using. The drive shaft is going to end up having to be cut about 4 inches shorter than what it was. So I'll drop the body down here and give you an idea of how this thing sits. A little bit of history. Bought this car in 2012. And it already had a 307 with a 350 transmission in it. Ran all right, drove it for about 3 years like that. Then, 3 years ago, I just decided I wanted to try fixing the car up. Body wasn't too bad a shape. Oop. Looks like we're off a little bit. At any rate, I will show you what I've done over here. This thing, so these LS motors, the passenger side head sits back about 1 inch further than the driver's side. So when we moved it back where we did, what I ended up doing on the firewall here was made a cut here, and knock that in. That's going to give me my clearance for the head on the back. On the driver's side, since it was already, so like I said, since they're offset, I didn't have to do anything on the driver's side. Oh, the frame's back a little bit. So the car rolled back on me. But at any rate, can't think of anything else. Here's the wiring harness for this thing. I'm not going to really go over what all I've done with that. I'm redoing the wiring harness myself. I've already stripped out all the wires. Still got a couple I need to get rid of, but pretty much stripped it out myself. Go to lt1swap.com. He's got the schematics for all that. Since I'm eliminating the vents and I'm going to be running AC, I'm planning on mounting the computer right here on the outside of the firewall. I'll have the wires run up through the hole here and plug into it. So I think that should work, barring, I know I still got to drill holes for AC, but that should fit on there right there pretty well. The other thing I had to do, being that I had 307 in it before, mechanical fuel pump, I bought this gas tank for it. When I had the car originally, they had some old junk gas tank in there, so I bought a gas tank off Tanks Inc. and had this pickup in it. So I had to replace that and put an electric fuel pump in there, and I got that mounted in. The gas tanks are made to accept that. Bought the electric fuel pump off of Tanks Inc. also. We also got all the fittings, the fuel filter, and we got the hose for the fuel line. So should be good to go. I'm going to hopefully try to mount the gas tank to the frame somehow, just for running the fuel lines and getting that all squared away. But this is pretty much where I'm at on the car right now. Didn't have to do anything to the transmission tunnel for the transmission, since I got the engine sitting down. Transmission sits right up underneath there real easy. In fact, I think I've got an inch or so gap between the floor and the transmission. That hole there was cut for the 350 transmission. I'm sure I'm probably gonna have to weld that up and move it, so it's we might have to go further back. That's pretty much what I got. And in case I said Mustang for now, what I've got on this thing is a 86 Jaguar XJ6 front suspension, bolted up there real nice. Fits real well. Basically bought the whole car for $500. Managed to sell enough parts off of it and sold the body and everything, and for around $600. So I was actually $100 ahead on the front suspension, but that's what I've got, and that's where my steering is at, right down there. Well, the other thing you might be wondering is the pan, the oil pan. That's how low it's sitting down below the frame. You know, I got about 3 inches there, but I've still got a lot of ground clearance. The Jaguar front suspension dropped the car down almost 2 inches, but I think I got plenty of clearance. So this is the truck oil pan. They do have a car oil pan that you can buy that's shallower, but I think this is going to work for me. The car's, I'm not doing any kind of lowering or anything to it, so that's pretty much where she's going to sit. The previous owner had already cut the support up here on the driver's side. That one I shouldn't have to trim any more off of it. Should be good to go. Same with the passenger side. They actually had it still on there. I went ahead and cut it. There's no way that those exhaust manifolds are going to fit on there with that. Basically that dump comes right down where that's at. So if you're wanting to keep those things and not cut them, I'm not 100% sure. The Sanderson's headers might fit. Not 100% sure. Let's see what else. The only other thing, difference between van engines and truck engines is the accessories. If you get a truck motor, get a truck motor. Unless you get a good deal on a van. If you get a good deal on a van, that's great, but you're going to end up with, so here's the oil fill. So that would have gone right here, and as you can see, it sticks way out. So if you get the van, you're going to have to get the truck accessories. I just went to the junkyard and started picking up stuff like that. This is the power steering pump and the reservoir. There are two separate units on the van, whereas the truck, you just got the one. Again, went to the junkyard, picked that up, and going to put that on there. The only other, and then a lot of guys I've seen have been shaving the truck intakes. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to go ahead and use the truck cover, but what I found out too is that the vans didn't have a cover on them. So on the truck there is a stud that comes up right here to mount the cover. Well, the van don't have that. So I'm going to have to come up, fabricate something to make the cover fit. The other thing on the vans, all the way up to 2004, they're all drive-by cable. The only thing with the van cable is it's a lot longer than truck cable. Again, I found a cable out of a truck. I'm going to use it. It's shorter, should go right up there. A lot of your truck motors too will come with the some of the newer ones, 04, 05, 06. A lot of them will be drive-by wire. Something to think about. You ain't got to worry about the cable in that. It's just plugging in and not having to worry about the cable. So that's what I've got. That's where I'm at. Might be a while before we hear this thing actually start up. Got a long ways to go with this car. I'll try to post another video. If anybody's got any questions, comments, anybody got any advice for me, I'm learning as I go. This is something brand new for me. I'm into auto body, and the mechanic part of it's a whole nother animal. So thanks for watching.